Hey there. Welcome back. It is one of my favorite times of year, friends. The time of year where I put on this leafy shirt and we hang out together, getting excited about the cozy autumn season. And we tap. We tap on pumpkins. Yay! Okay, I feel like I need to adjust a little bit here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring this a little bit closer. I was so excited to do this that I just sat down and got right into it. I do have my windows open again. I've been doing that lately for some videos because I like the outdoor sounds. And even though it is now the autumn season, it's still been quite hot here where I live during a lot of the days. Still dealing with those warm temperatures. So I like to have the breeze. I like to have the breeze. I like to have the breeze while I am recording. So here we are, friends, in fall. Hooray! And I have some fall triggers for you. I'm going to give you a preview because I'm so excited. I have this pumpkin, and I have this pumpkin. Isn't this one so cute? And oh my goodness, this sounds so good. Oh, that sounds so good. And look how pretty it is. Look how pretty it is. It's like Cinderella style pumpkin. And I also have one of my favorite underrated ASMR triggers of all time, which is an apple. I love apple tapping, apple tapping, apple tapping, apple tapping. Oh my gosh, that's such a great sound. Such a great sound. So I have these three things and a few other things. And today I just wanted to hang out and celebrate fall with you. First of all, I want to hear all about the things you're doing as we get into the fall season. What are you baking? What are you cooking? What beverages are you drinking? What activities are you doing? Tell me all the fall things, all the fall things, all the fall things. And I will share with you some of my fall things, some things that I'm currently doing and hope to do this fall. And then I thought I might also tell you a few little stories or just things about my life that have to do with the fall. Like things from my childhood and my growing up and previous phases of my life from the fall. Because for me, fall, oh man, can we just have a moment for this apple sound? It is so good. This is a, what is this called? This is a honey crisp apple, and it smells so good and it is so delicious. I will probably eat this one with peanut butter on it. I like to slice it into slices and put peanut butter on it. I will definitely be doing some baking with apples, but I also just like to eat them with peanut butter. For me, as I was saying, and I think I'll switch from soft speaking to whispering throughout this video. I think that's the mood I'm in today. But for me, fall is an extremely nostalgic time. For some reason, fall is a phase. Maybe it's because it's when things are dying back and we're kind of reflecting on the abundance of what has passed in the summer. This is a time of harvest and thinking about what it is that we are bringing in from all the seeds that we have sown. For me, it's a time when I look back on previous phases of my life, old versions of Devan, different relationships and different interests and different things that were occupying my life at different times. And autumn is a time of reflection for me, for sure. And I just feel like a lot of things in my life, a lot of important memories or formative things or things that influenced my life a lot happened in the fall. So, I guess to start out with a few of the things for the current autumn season, so I don't forget, is that today I bought my first apple cider of the season. I went to a lovely farm stand and market near us and bought this apple and bought one of the pumpkins I'm going to show you. A bigger pumpkin, spoiler alert, that is coming. I already had the smaller pumpkins. I got them at our co-op. Got a few apples and got some apple cider and also got some cider donuts, which maybe are just kind of a New England thing. Let me know if you're from another part of the US or another part of the world, if you know about cider donuts. They're a cake donut with autumnal spices and usually dipped in cinnamon and sugar, and they are delicious. And Justin and I and some of our friends here are always on a constant hunt to find the best cider donuts and comparing ones from different farm stands and different shops to find the best apple cider donuts. And let's see what else. One of my friends recently taught me how to make these wonderful, wonderful cinnamon cardamom scones. Oh my gosh, they're so good. They're scones, but instead of making the scone dough kind of in a traditional way, you flatten it out and put cinnamon and sugar, and they add cardamom filling, and then roll it up and slice it, and so it makes these little cinnamon roll-esque scones, and they are so good. They are so good. They are going to be an autumn staple for me this year. Maybe I will link the recipe to that in the description in case you're interested in trying out the delicious cinnamon scones. So shout out to my friend Garrett, who is the one who brought the cinnamon scones into my life. They are so good. And Justin and I, with some different groups of friends, will be going to a few fall festivals. I enjoy doing that very, very much. We have a plan to go to a pumpkin patch and pick some pumpkins and do some pumpkin carving. Haven't done pumpkin carving in a few years. We had two really good friends that we used to do pumpkin carving with every year, and then they moved to a different part of the country, and so we kind of stopped that tradition, and I want to restart it. I want to restart it because I do love to carve pumpkins. And also in October we will be traveling to attend the wedding of some friends of ours who live on a beautiful farmstead. So that will be really fun because that will be in the peak of the autumn season. More to come on that. I am getting into drinking some tea, some of my autumnal teas. I definitely will be making chai. I make chai spice tea, but I make it without black tea in it. So I just use the warming spices, the clove and the cinnamon and the cardamom pods and the star anise and other delicious things. I'm probably forgetting some of them. To make a spicy tea. And I will definitely be making some pumpkin muffins. That's something I always make. And I've already made my pumpkin baked ziti casserole. It's a pasta casserole with pumpkin in it. And I want to make that with butternut squash this year as well. So, sure, there will be lots of adventures in the kitchen. I'll show you this beautiful apple up close. Show you the apple up close. The apple up close. So those are just some of the things that I am thinking. Let me know what you are thinking. Let me know what you are thinking. I don't drink coffee, so I don't really do the pumpkin spice latte thing. But maybe I should find a kind of decaf alternative to that. That's usually what I do with my chai. So now let's start a little fall tap off, shall we? I want to know your opinion as to which tapping sound you like the best. This is the apple, okay? Contestant number 1 is the apple tapping, Contestant number 2 is this small, round pumpkin. The small, round pumpkin. Its stem makes a nice sound as well. Did I give the apple stem a fair share? Maybe I didn't do that. I want to give the apple... Ooh, and that sound up there. I feel like I tapped really fast on the apple. Maybe I should give it a little bit of slow tapping as well. I find with this, I just want to be like... Apple. Okay, I'll go back to the pumpkin. Don't want to spend the whole video on the apple. And this has a lovely sound. I couldn't resist this one at the co-op. I actually got 2 of these because they're just so perfectly round. They're so perfectly round and make such nice decor. So, I've got the little round pumpkin. And let me see. Well, one of the things that is nostalgic for me about autumn is that I grew up in a town, a very small town in West Virginia, that every year had, and still has, at the beginning of October, an apple harvest festival. And for that one weekend, our tiny town would have thousands and thousands of people descend upon it for this festival, where there would be all kinds of treats made from apples. All the local organizations would have their different booths selling different apple things, apple dumplings and apple fritters and apple cider and other appley baked goods. And there would be apple butter that was made in these giant iron kettles. And when I was a kid, I thought this was the coolest thing in the world. They would set up these big campfires, basically, and put these giant iron kettles over the fire, fill them with the apples and the spices and the sugar, and then just cook them down and down and down. And they had these giant wooden stirrers that someone would hold, and it would go out really long like a yardstick, and then go down into the pot, and they would stir and they would cook down this apple butter over the course of days. They would have all different shifts of people that would come, and someone was constantly tending to the apple butter and cooking it down in these giant kettles. And it was the most delicious stuff in the world. So if you've never had apple butter, it's basically, think of like an apple jam or something like that, but it just gets cooked down and down and down and down until it becomes a really deep brown, and it gets super caramelized and so good, and you can spread it on toast, or things like that, and it's so delicious. So if you ever have a chance to try or to make homemade apple butter, of course you don't have to make it on a giant scale in a giant copper kettle over an open fire. You can just make it on your stove or in a crock pot or something like that. I would highly recommend trying some apple butter. And when I was a kid, going to that apple harvest festival, it was the highlight of the year. Next to Christmas, I think it was the most exciting weekend, the most exciting time of the year, because there were so many things to see and do, and we'd usually get a little bit of spending money, and then as we got a little older, we were allowed to walk around by ourselves at the festival, which was, a really big deal. And then as I got into middle school, a lot of people, of course, came from all around, so, maybe you would see the person that you liked or that you had a crush on at the festival. And also, when I was in Scouts, we used to be in the parade. There was a parade, and we would ride on a float in the parade. It was just a really big to-do, the Apple Harvest Festival. And I remember the things that, as a kid, there were always like the cool things to buy. Like there would be all these craft tents. And I remember one year, I think I was in third grade, I got a leather bracelet. I wish I still had this. I don't know what happened to it. I got a leather bracelet that was like a band of leather, like a belt that snapped around my wrist. And the person would stamp letters, would stamp your name into the bracelet. It had these like metal stamps that would imprint into the leather. And because my name was Devan, I never had anything with my name on it. Like when you went on vacation and they had the big rack of keychains with everyone's names on it, there was never a Devan, you know what I mean? Let me know if you're one of those people too. And so I never got anything pre-made very often with my name on it. So the fact that I got this bracelet with Devan imprinted into it, D-E-V-A-N, and then you could get a little symbol imprinted. I think I got a horse. I think I got a little symbol of a horse, or maybe a heart. That part I don't remember. But I remember having the bracelet with Devan on it and really loving that. And I remember my younger sister going bonkers making sand critters, which was a booth where they had all these bottles, and some of them were shaped like animals, and they had all these bins with different colored sands in them, like sand, and funnels, and you could fill a bottle with sand, whatever colors you wanted, and create your own design. And then there were different stoppers to put in the tops of them that had like feathers and ears and things on them. And my sister's birthday was right around the time of the festival. So she would always have birthday money to spend. And I remember one year she spent like all of her money making sand critters. I don't think my mom was too thrilled about that, but... So, we had many sand critters for many years, and I always think about that. So that was the Apple Harvest Festival, and also my grandma and my aunt used to come and visit during the festival, and we would all go together, so that was a really fun part of it. Lots of fun memories, so the Apple Harvest Festival. Let me know if there are any festivals either from when you were growing up or that you currently enjoy and what you like best about them. Okay, so this has been... I've been talking a lot, so hopefully you can hear the tapping and enjoy it. The pumpkin tapping, round orange pumpkin tapping. Now we have the Cinderella pumpkin, the Cinderella pumpkin. This beautiful... Oh, that's nice. Do the bottom first. This beautiful white and orange striped pumpkin. We'll tap on it for a while. Another thing about fall that makes me nostalgic is that I was in marching band when I was in high school. I played the clarinet in marching band. And for the first year in middle school, I had played clarinet, regular B-flat clarinet, and then I switched to playing alto clarinet, which is a slightly larger clarinet, not as large as a bass clarinet. It's like the size of a saxophone. And I played alto clarinet in marching band, so I did that for 4 years that I was in marching band. And the marching band that I was in that era, 90s marching band, and sort of like the mid-Atlantic, Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, Virginia area of the country, there were a lot of really good marching bands, and it was really a thing in that era. And our band was really, really good. We had a really large band. There were like 800 kids in my high school, and about 100 of them were involved in band in one way or another, either in band or in the color guard. I mean, it was a big deal. A lot of people were involved in band. And we had an amazing band director who was a very talented person and was kind of, in some ways, I don't know, sort of more like a football coach or something, was like a sports coach in the way that he was very driven and wanted us all to do our bests, and we were all a little bit afraid of him, but he was very brilliant and very talented. And so we would do these amazing marching band field shows, and if you're not familiar with that, we would have several pieces of music that we would memorize. Okay, so first of all, it's this whole, orchestral arrangement of music that the band would memorize. And it would usually be, our show was usually about 10 to 12 minutes, I think. And then we would learn this field choreography. So we would all go out onto a football field, and you may have seen this. College bands do this, like at college football games and things, where you play the music and you make these formations out on the field. And from above, if you were looking down, you can see that the band is forming different shapes and weaving in and out of each other and doing all sorts of cool things. And we had a person who designed our drill. That's what it was called. Drill designer. And we would do these incredible marching band field shows. And it's one of those things that, like, if you've never seen it, like, it's kind of hard to imagine, but it was really, really cool, and it was really cool to be a part of, and it was a lot of hard work. During the summer, we would go every single day. During the month of August, we would have music rehearsals earlier in the summer, and then in August, we would go every day from like 8 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon and practice and stand out in the hot sun on a practice field and learn the choreography, learn the drill, and practice our music and get the show down. And then all during the fall season, we would perform on Friday nights at halftime at our high school football games. And then on Saturdays, we would travel to competitions all over the region and compete against other bands doing our field show. And our band was really... Oh, I think this pumpkin's getting a tiny little spot on it. I have to be careful of that spot. I don't want it to get rotten. Maybe I can wash that and kind of disinfect it a little bit. That helps sometimes if they're starting to get soft. Keep an eye on that. Oh, okay. the band that I was in, my high school band, was really, really good. We were really good. We were like the #1 band in our region, usually. And then, oh my gosh, I need to do something about this. Let's see. Okay, try not to hit this anymore. I'm getting too excited about marching band. I'm such a nerd. And we also used to go every year. We traveled several hours away to go to this big tournament of bands competition, which was bands from the whole East Coast. And all during the time that I was in band, we were in the top 10. We were in the top 10 for our size of school of all these bands all along the East Coast. And the highest we ever came in was 7th place. My freshman year, we came in 7th place. And our drum major, who was the director, who directed us on the field, won best drum major in this whole competition. So that was very exciting. And that was held in a big stadium where we were marching on AstroTurf, and there were big lights and everything, and it was very exciting. So that's another reason that fall is very nostalgic to me, is because of marching band. We also did a few parades every year. We would march in a few parades, and one of them was a parade called the Autumn Glory Parade. It was at this festival called the Autumn Glory Festival, and it was in a town, where it was having a fall festival, and there would always be this beautiful foliage, and we'd be marching down the street in this town, and the leaves would be falling, and it was always very beautiful. It would always end up being very hot that weekend, and I remember there would be several marching bands in this parade, and usually every year at least one kid would pass out from the heat, and so they were always trying to keep us hydrated and make sure that nobody went down, that nobody was knocked out during the parade. But anyway, for the most part it was fun. I never passed out during the parade, thankfully. I probably would pass out now if I had to march in a parade in a marching band uniform, which was made of wool and did not keep you warm when it was cold and made you very hot when it was hot, and was not a very heat or cold friendly garment. But anyway. Okay, so there's my little ramble about marching band. Okay. Ooh. A little bit of wind outside, Okay, I'm going to put down this stripy pumpkin and pick up my last pumpkin, and then I have a couple other little triggers. This is the Big Mama pumpkin. Are you ready? I mean, it's not that big, but for the context of this video and compared to these other two, it's big. I just got this one today. Are you ready? Oh! Check out my big pumpkin. Alright, I don't know how long I'll be able to hold this one up and tap on it. Always makes me think of Return to Oz. Is anyone out there a Return to Oz fan? That awesome, trippy 80s movie. And when she first gets the pumpkin, when Dorothy first gets a pumpkin and she's combing it with a comb, which is very trippy. And then later on she meets Jack Pumpkinhead, so it's kind of foreshadowing of that. But that's what I feel like I should do. I should get my comb out of my trigger box, and maybe I should do a Return to Oz role play sometime. Oh my gosh, why have I never thought of that before? If you know Return to Oz, please tell me in the comments and tell me if I should do a Return to Oz role play for Halloween. Oh gosh, now I'm thinking. Okay, pin that, Devan. Let's see, what are other reasons that I get nostalgic about fall? Well, as a kid who really enjoyed school, once I got past first grade was a little rough for me. But in general, I enjoyed school, and so I never minded going back to school. So the fall going back to school vibe was usually a good thing for me. Also, as I got older, thinking of some things, when I was in college, it was in the fall of 1999. Ah yes, the fall of 1999 in the previous century, the previous millennium, when I did my semester abroad in Ireland and spent the fall semester at University College Cork in Cork City, and that was a wonderful time in my life when I made a lot of good friends, and I was really involved in the drama club and the theater scene at the college when I was there. Helped with quite a few productions and did some traveling, and that was a really formative time in my life. The first time I had ever traveled abroad, the first time I had ever really been away from my family when I was 20. And so that's a very nostalgic, full memory for me. When I was in my 20s, I had a group of friends that used to throw these ridiculous, over-the-top Halloween parties where we would spend tons of time on decorations and on our costumes and on Halloween-themed foods, and that was a lot of fun. So that's a time I look back on with a lot of nostalgia and fondness and happy memories, and some bittersweet memories, because things change a lot from when you're young. I've lost a few people in my life who are part of those memories, and that's always a part of this time of year for me too, actually, I think, is to make a little space for grief and to think about people in my life who have passed away, or people who are just not in my life any longer, and kind of recognizing those different stages and phases of life, recognizing the ebb and flow and how things change and how we grow. And at this time of year, I try to take some real time to look back with compassion on different versions of myself. That 20-year-old Devan who was in Ireland, and that little child version of Devan who was going to the Apple Harvest Festival and being so excited, and that version of me in my 20s, and heck, version of me in my 30s, version of me just a few years ago, and definitely that teenage version of me in marching band. Whew. We all need to look back on our teenage selves with compassion. Am I right? Am I right? And then also just to celebrate where I am right now, and to celebrate, like I said, kind of the harvest of a lot of seeds I have planted, and beautiful things in my life that I'm really happy about. Okay, this pumpkin's getting heavy, so I'm going to put it down right now. And I do want to show you two other autumnal type trigger items I brought, okay? The first is, I'll do this one first. I've used these in videos before, and it always makes me excited. These are seed pods from a Baptisia plant, from a Baptisia flower, which in the summer has beautiful green foliage and long purple flowers. And then in the fall, it forms these seed pods, and they dry, and then they make this wonderful shaky sound. So I harvested a few of these, and I have them in a vase downstairs. It's kind of like an autumnal dried arrangement. I like how they look. I used these one year when I did my Ursula role play. I used it as kind of a magic rattle, and I crumbled some of the seed pods into your potion. If you've never seen that video of mine, it's one of my favorite autumn videos. I will link to that. And I actually have a playlist of all of my fall autumn videos, so I will link to that as well in the description if you just want to, nerd out on Anyway, I wanted to show you this fall rattle. Maybe I will use that again in a future video for fall ambiance. And then I also brought these marigolds to show you. Look at the marigolds. I filmed a garden tour video, a fall garden tour video, which I probably will not have posted yet when I post this, but maybe I'll do that next. I need to get around to editing that one. But I showed you my marigolds in that video, so you can see them as they are. But maybe right now I will just use them to brush you a little bit, and I wish you could smell them. I will send you the smell of them as best I can. They are spicy and aromatic and wonderful, and I love how they smell. And when you hold them, or when I groom them and, take off the dead, dying flower heads and, deadhead them, as they say, then it leaves my hands smelling wonderful for the rest of the day. And I love flower petal rustling as a trigger. I think that's a really nice trigger sound. Ooh, maybe that'll be too much, but alright. I'll only do this for a second. For those of you who are super sensitive and might not like this. But if you do like this, let me know. I probably shouldn't do this. I probably shouldn't get pollen in my microphone. But let me know if you like this, and maybe I'll do more of this. And do a video dedicated to this for the people who do like the crunchy ear sounds. I don't know, I think that's kind of nice. Okay, I won't overdo it. But I didn't end up. I really got into the pumpkin and apple tapping, so I didn't spend as much time on the flower petal rustling here, so we'll give that a little bit of attention. And then, like I said, I also really love this shirt. If you've been with my channel for a long time, you will know that I've been doing autumn fall videos wearing this shirt from the very, very beginning of my channel. So if you watch my autumn videos playlist, you will see this shirt making an appearance. I love this shirt. It makes me very happy with all these different colored leaves on it. All these different colored leaves on it. Different colored leaves on it. So, it doesn't have very long sleeves, so I can't do a lot of fabric sounds on it, but I can do a little bit of shushy. Okay, friends, so happy autumn, happy fall. I really hope that you are enjoying yourself as we, my gosh, this smells so good. I wish you could smell it. As we move into this season together, please let me know. You've all given me already some lovely ideas for some fall content, so we will have some fun things coming up. But let me know if you have other ideas for me for fall or winter content. And let me see what else. We'll go back through all of these tapping implements one more time so you can cast your vote. I do also want to mention, I don't want to be too promoty of myself, but that I want to remind you that I do have channel membership now available on this channel. If you want to click on the join button that shows up at the top of videos or on my channel page, you can check that out. If you would like to join as a member of this channel, if you join at the Quiet Comfort Collaborator level, then you get access every month to a bonus members only video, and via a special poll you get to help decide me what will be in that video. So I recently posted my first members only video that was really fun to do. So if you would like to get access to that extra video, once you join, you have access to all the past videos that I've done. So you would get access to the one I've already done and then ones in the future each month. So just check it out if you're interested. I just do want you to know that it's And as I always say, no pressure to join, obviously. I know that not everyone has the resources to be able to do something extra like that, and I completely respect that and know that I myself wish I could support more creators than I am able to. And by you being here, by you watching my videos and liking and commenting and just being a part of this community, you are doing a lot to help me. But if you do want to go a little bit above and beyond, and you have the means to do so, to support this channel and support me as a creator, I would love to have you join as a member. Okay, so it's kind of a good sound. Alright, Marigolds, I'll put you down for now. Okay, here's our little final showdown. Are you ready? So perk up your ears and let me know which of these you like the best. Is it number 1? The apple tapping, the apple tapping, the apple tapping, the apple tapping. Is it number 2, the round pumpkin, the round pumpkin, the round pumpkin? Is it number 3, the Cinderella pumpkin? Or is it number 4, the big old pumpkin? Getting in there with a little more of a deep bass note tapping there. That's fun, that's fun, that's fun, that's fun. Okay, friends, so let me know which one of those items you liked the tappies on the best. Let me know what you think of these marigolds or these rattly sounds. Let me know anything you want, friends. I always love hearing from you and hearing your ideas. And especially during this season, can you tell I'm a little hyped up and excited in this video? I'm a little hyped up for the fall season. So, I wish you the very best. I would love to hear any of your stories about the fall or what you love about this time of year. I'm excited to hang out with you more, share some more fun things with you. So until then, take good care of yourself, rest well, and I will see you again soon. Take care, friends.